Hello everyone, we are starting webinar modeling precast in Revit 101. My name is Valensas Balsevičius. I'm a structural engineer and BIM application engineer. I work in AGACAD company, and AGACAD is developer, authorized developer of Autodesk. We create solutions based on our users' experience. And we create a lot of different solutions. So create solutions for the information management. This is smart browser. Then we have solution like Precast Concrete cut opening, which I will talk about today. For MEP guys, MEP hangers and fire sprinklers tools for them. And then we have wood framing and metal framing solutions, which covers modeling, shop drawings, and export to CNC machines, and some small tools. You can take a free trial of any of them. We are not alone. We have partners in different countries. As you see, they are listed here. You can contact them and talk about Revit, about AGACAD tools. Then we are also Autodesk ISC industry partners with Precast Concrete. So we are very happy that they value our software and they trust in our solutions. And next week we'll be in Las Vegas. So if anyone from you guys will be there, stop by our booth and let's chat, talk about it, whatever you are interested in. Precast Concrete is a solution to create precast elements, insert connections, details, or whatever you call them, basically Revit families, then sort them, renumber them, yes, and create shop drawings. Then this is the scope of webinar, so we'll talk about how to create precast elements with Revit, then automatically create slabs, split walls into separate segments. We'll use also CAD opening today, so just to show you how can you insert some openings, and then how to insert connections on the elements and how to renumber and shop drawings. Yes, so important news for existing users. So we had this tool, Smart Details, which is meant to distribute your families according to the rules on the elements. So we'll just change this tool to the smart connections. You see they are really similar, right? Almost the same. Actually, yeah, from outside they are the same, but inside we had made some changes which might affect your current configurations. For example, I have used Smart Details like this, insert details connections at the bottom of a column, at the top, then some corbels automatically at the beam. But when I use smart connections with the same configuration, I get this kind of result. So just some internal rules has changed, so now the face of the bottom became the side face. So something similar, but it will have influence for the columns and a little bit on the wall connections. So just keep in mind, so some of the features you can see here that now you can insert, let's say, connection in the center, at the top, at the bottom. So now this can be used to define where the detail in the connection will be inserted. And so it reduces the number of rules you have to create. Let's say we have two different thickness of a wall, so it will automatically adjust to that by using these settings. And here also the connection of the walls was improved quite a lot, so this might also influence configurations which you already have. So with one configuration you can insert in all of these situations more easily with smart connections. And this is it. We'll switch to live demo, and I'll talk about how to create Revit elements in the beginning. Yes, so I'll switch over to my Revit screen. this is my template project. Looks similar like to an empty project, just I have some already families loaded. On the right, you see tools for BIM doc, which is our solution, which you can download from our webpage and then install any of our solutions and take the trials. Yeah, so today I will use Precast Concrete and cut opening over here. Yeah, so how do you create precast building? Depends on what information do you have. But basically, there are tools for architects, structural engineers, and system engineers in Revit, so you can do all the parts in one model. For structural guys, we have different commands for beams, columns, floors, foundations, and rebars. But first of all, probably we need to create from grid lines. So you select the type of the grid, and then you draw where is the grid of your building. You give the name for the grid, right? For the existing users, it's everyday thing, but for the new, maybe you didn't see that. So you draw the grid lines, then you pick the element where you want to draw. For example, I will pick wall, and then you pick the type of the wall. So the type, it means what is the size of it, how many layers do I have. For example, if I will edit it, you will see that I have 3 inches outside layer, then I have an insulation layer, and then another concrete layer for this wall. Yes, so I pick this type, for example, and then I just draw. Yeah, I define if I want to draw it to the upper layer or level or down, and then I draw in the desired direction the walls. Yeah, so you would do that if you have only some kind of PDF or I don't know, printed version of architecture, but probably a quite usual way is when you get AutoCAD drawing, then if you don't have partners who use Revit, so you can, I will select architectural DVG file and link it into this Revit model. That's it. Now I have architectural plan of building, so I'm just gonna fix that now. I'll just align these grid lines. So I use AL on my keyboard. Then you can copy or you can create other grid lines like this, or you can use grid and then select this tool, for example. Yeah, so I'm gonna do it like this. All right, so I want to do this today from scratch. Yeah, and then another grid, draw the grid line. This time I want to renumber this one because this will be like 1, and then I'll just copy this, select multiple maybe, yeah, and copy to new position, and Revit will automatically renumber them again. So I'll do that like this, and then yeah, so I would like to move these walls also to a good position. So yeah, maybe I'll just move them like this. Right, so you can use this as a reference and build your walls. So this is one of the methods. Yeah, so you can draw lines, or you can just select lines and use them as a reference for your walls, like I do it now. So I'll just go around my building like this. All right, and maybe here another one, and then I will use TR on my keyboard, and then I will just trim them, or yeah, I think that's the name of command, and then yeah, it will connect like this. Yeah, so I'm just building big walls like this. These elevation marks, I can move them, so in elevation views I could get better views. All right, how does it look now? So I have walls, right? I forgot to change the size of it. So it's not a problem in Revit. You can select them, select the top constraint again, and if you want to, you can add some extension even, right, like this. But then again, you have to go to sections, you have to see other DVGs or attach other DVGs. So another way would be, maybe I'll just delete this one. I will not need that no more. So I will link Revit file. Yeah, so I have architectural Revit file. So I'll just link it here. It will look like this. This is architectural model. It has some elements, windows, some more walls. Yeah, and what I will do now, I will use Revit command copy monitor. So select the link from this one, and I can copy elements from Revit linked file. I can copy levels or grids, column, walls, and floors. I can assign what should be the type of the wall or floor created for this type of floors. Yes, so I will just copy, and now I can select these elements. For example, I will pick the floor, so this floor will be created in my structure model. So I can just go around the walls as well. I have more floors here. Yes, this one, and over here, and over here, and over here. And I have some columns, right? But I cannot transfer. So let me hide that, and let's take a look. What do we have? So we need to finish, yeah, this operation, and I will just hide that. So I'm still missing a couple of walls. So let me do that one more time. Copy monitor, use link, this one, copy, and then yeah, I didn't see these, I think. So I got this already. So like this, now it should be better. All right, like this. So good. So I had my elements which I wanted to have. Now I don't have beams, so for that I will go to level 3 and just select beam command in Revit. Pick the type of the beam which I want to use. Yes, and then I just draw it like this, like a chain of elements on my beam, on my columns. Sorry. Yes, like this. All right. So you build up your model something in some similar way. And then you can continue creating and going into more details, right? So yeah, so I will switch to the Precast Concrete now. Floor panel layout. I will use it to create floors, slabs, by using existing this kind of big floors. Okay, so I'll go to floor panel layout. It's the tool to create floors, slabs, and it has option for the floor support. It allows you to select walls, beams, and grid lines, and you can use them to split one big floor into separate regions, and then you can make separate layout and separate region. Different type of slabs, different step of slabs could be created. Yes, so you can use these tools. It will remember which support is selected, so the support of slabs will be based on that also. And also, if you want to, you can just go to the plan view, for example, and just add splitting line. So anywhere you don't have supports, or maybe you have this kind of corner support, which is kind of easier for me to create like this and divide the floor into this kind of regions. So you'll see now it looks like this. Modify. Yeah, so now I have these lines. They are all at the same level, I hope. Yeah, it looks like this. And now I will start using other commands like panel layout, planning. So here we have commands how to distribute our slabs on selected region. So we have some settings. What should be the size of my slab? Oh, sorry. One more time. I'll just make it 4. And the splitting direction, so you can go from both ends if you want to, or from one end by maximum spacing and so on. Yes, so I'll choose this option, then click on Create Panel Layout for the floor face. And you see when I move my mouse over the region, it allows me to create this panel layout. I create the step of slabs. So basically I just create lines now for the slabs I want to create. For example, if I want to have some different one, I will change some settings and I will do it here. Yeah, you can join, let's say, regions, this one and this one, and then split in half if you want to. Yes, so you can plan how your slabs should be created. All right, and then the next step would be to create actual floors. So I'll go to floor, create panels, panel settings, and here I have settings. What should be the support at the selected unselected edges, then on the walls, on the framings. If I selected them, then what parameters should be used for the width and length. Then what floor type will I use? So I will just go with this one. And then we have the software comes with predefined hole types, so I can pick that. So basically what we will do, we will create floor and then we will add holes to make the shape of the slab. Yeah, so I can also add some offset from the level. All right, so if I'm happy with my settings, close down this window, create panels, select the line, and then it should be creating floors and adding generic model cuts. So and also calculating the width and length parameters. So what do I have here now is floor. Yes, this type of floor, and it has yeah, width and length parameters which we can schedule and so on. All right, so it looks like this. Now let's choose other settings. 24 inches, then double T, and yeah, 24 inches. So let's save it again. Create, select one of the lines on the region, and it will generate other type of slabs for me. So it looks like this, yes. And how it's created, it's just using a generic model families, which you can modify if you want to and use it, because this is Revit families, Revit element, so it's you are in full control how it will be. Yes, so you have here the section, so you can just delete or add additional lines if you want to change the shape according to your manufacturer or something. So you can do it like this on your own. So it's not restricted, yes? All right, so just close down this one. Okay, good. So we have them here. Now we have other methods how to create slabs. For that, I will go to panel layout planning and I'll change this setting to a very big one, and I will click on create on this face as well as on this face. So why did I do that? Because I want to just create one single floor over here. So I don't want to draw it. I will use floor panel layout. Okay. So you select the settings if you want to. Yeah, what kind of floors should be created? You don't want to have holes. Save them. Oh, maybe should we use 0 value here? And then create that. Yeah, so now I have created one, and maybe just pick another line, and then I have now 2 slabs created like this. Now I will use another tool which is called Floor+M. You see I don't have commands here, but I have them over here. Then this one. And I have here this tool will insert structural framing elements. Previously we have created, if I'll go here, you see we have floors. Yeah, so if you like to use structural framing element, then you can use this tool. So we have configurations where we can define how our slabs or structural framings should be created. So I'm just gonna open configuration window, and here under the flooring I have some configurations. So under longitudinal flooring I have settings to insert this structural framing element, and I will use rule to array from start, and the spacing and the number of elements. So it's just to fill big floor. Basically this tool is to create layout of structural framing elements based on the rules. Yes, so I chose the precast element. Then I have this two-layer floor. So I use floor link command, and then I say that for this layer I want to use flooring and this configuration. And then I want to frame it. I want to add structural framing elements to this layer and just hide parts which will be created. All right, and then you can select your floors and hit on add flooring. Also, you can modify them, delete them. Yes, you have many settings for that. As always, to update, to follow your process. All right, I will just hide that. And I have another floor here, and I will also use the same command. Maybe I don't need to monitor. I have floor link, but this time I have just different configuration for that. So I'll close it and add flooring. And this time I just insert structural framing elements of double T. Yes. So it looks like this. All right. So what else do we have here? Create layout. Then we will use opening to cut opening tool to create openings by linked architectural model. But maybe I have one guy says that it doesn't have a sound, but I'm pretty sure it's not issue on my end. Yes. All right, so I will hide this tool. I will not use it anymore, I think. All right, yeah, we have this architectural model, and still in structural model I don't have any openings. Yeah, so I'm just gonna bring it back again, and I will switch over to cut opening tool over here. So we have some configurations for the door window openings. We can define if we want to automatically join openings if they are close enough, or we want to join window and door openings also. Do we want to extend opening to the base of the wall, and so on. So we have some settings, and then we can use this command insert update for door window openings. When I click on it, it will find windows and doors in architectural model. So I have them here, right? I have one type of openings and another type of openings. So I will just select all the doors and click on insert update, and then I will no, actually what I want to do, I want to group them by host. First of all, I want to sort them by level. No, maybe just by type. Yes, or it could be like this, I think. Yeah, let's take a look. Now we have walls, basic walls, and we have these walls. So my sandwich walls, and yeah, I'm just gonna select them and click here, and then for the doors I will use this family and click on OK. Okay, so it still wants to it's finding some openings in the internal walls, which was not the things I wanted to do. All right, so let's take a look. What's the result? I will hide this architectural model. Yes. So now I have all the openings for the doors in my project. So I don't need to create them manually. They automatically take the size of family in architectural model. All right, let's do it one more time. Let's run it for the window families. So we have these. All right, maybe it was a good way to do it in this way. So I will select Windows, insert, select the window type which I want to use, but basically it's adapting it anyway and creating new types based on the size of the window in architect model. So I'm just gonna close down this. Yes, and yeah, if I'll hide architectural model, we see that we have openings now, window families in our structural walls. All right, so that's another step. Yeah, and let's see. Yeah, to split the walls into separate panels. So let's go here. Before that, I would like to actually, maybe I'll just select all of these. What I want to do is actually, these are not the walls I want to select. I just want to deselect these. And what I'm gonna do is that I will create foundation, I hope. So I will copy these and I will paste them to the same place. I do it sometimes like this, and then for the new walls I will enter here values, different values of the size. So yeah, all right, it should be actually number 1. Yeah, so that's the result I expected. So some openings were deleted, but that's okay. So now I'll have them here, and then I will change the type of them. Yeah, so I'll pick another wall type. All right, so I'll have it like this. Okay, good. Let's go here. So another tool is to split walls into separate segments. Yes. I think I will not need architectural model, so I will just unload it, or I can remove it from the model. But yeah, so that way it's easier for me to see everything. So what I want to do now is, okay, let's go here and let's switch over to Smart Walls tool. And Smart Walls tool, it has commands to split walls into separate segments, right? We have some settings, let's say the size of the panel, the maximum size of the panel. Then we have some splitting around the openings. All right, so we can select the wall and let's say use command to split by maximum spacing. So it will try to divide this wall into same segments, just close to the defined value as a maximum distance. Yeah, so also it will create gaps between my walls. And gaps could be defined by wall type in gap configuration by wall type settings. Yeah, so you can define different gap settings for different wall types. Over here, yeah, you see for this wall type I have this gap defined. All right, so that's one of the ways. quite automatic, right? Then we have another one, for example, just to split in the center of opening. Yeah, so you select the wall, click on that, and it will just divide it like this. Then you can just continue splitting all of these walls. If you are not happy with the split, you can use join walls and then split again by using different rule. So yeah, that's pretty automatic way. Then, okay, if I will go to level 1, maybe the thing I want to do is I want to select these walls and I want to just disallow joins of these walls, maybe. Yeah, so when I do that, it will just disallow the corners of my wall. Or I can use another command which is called shorten pick wall end. So when I pick that, I can click on wall end and it will add it will just separate these walls like this. Yes, so now I have it like this. Yeah, what else? Another way to split them is when I will just draw the section here and go to the section view, and maybe I'll just make it fine and wireframe maybe. Yeah, so another way is to split manually at the selected points. So what do I mean is that if I will just draw the grid line, yes, so I'll split it in the defined position. Actually I can maybe draw some additional line and then draw the grid which I will use to split my wall. So I have this, okay, maybe I'll just extend it like this. So I can select this grid, split by selected grids, select wall, hit on escape on the keyboard, and here you go. We have two walls with predefined gap. And then let's say for this one, we can just divide this by defined distance. Yes, so I will have more panels with the same size like this. We have some strange openings here, but whatever. Let's leave it like this. Maybe it could be more rational to do it in a different way, but let's just see the workflows. Okay, so I'm gonna make another section, and the same way I will just cut, let's say, again, I can have more of them, of course. Yes, so for example, I don't know, I can just copy them like this and then select them. Oh, sorry, select them, this one, this one, this one, then split by selected grids, select the wall, hit on escape, and then it will be again, I have more panels over here. All right, so it looks like this now. Okay, good. So I think you got the idea. Yeah, maybe one more. This panel doesn't look the way I would like this to be. Split panel, come on. Split in the center and between the openings. Yeah, alright, maybe I can join them. I didn't want to do that this way, so I'll join them and I will use this command to split in more places, just in the middle and also in the middle of opening. Yeah, so you can do it like this. Alright, so what's next on our plan? So MEP elements. So Revit is good because you can create all the MEP on the same platform and architecture on the same platform, so it's really easy to collaborate. For that, I'll link another project into this project. So this will be MEP project, like this. All right, so I have a couple of ducts, so I will isolate them. So you see I have some couple of ducts, I have some pipes, right? looks like this. So I want to create openings in the positions where do I have clash with walls, floors, beams, columns, and so on. So cut opening works based on opening configurations, and configurations are defined here. You can define what kind of openings should be created for each of a different MEP element. So cable trays, conduits, even for the beams we can insert openings, right? So for the line-based elements we can insert openings. For the rectangular ducts, for example, let's take a look. We can assign different settings, right? For different sizes of a duct, we can choose the shape, we can choose the offset. So the offset around the size of real duct. So we can add these settings. We can add additional top and bottom cuts. Then what should be the minimum size of dimension? We can add mark during the insert of this cut of this void family, and then we can measure elevation. So from level above, from project coordinate, right? And then where do you want to measure it? At the bottom, at the center, at the top. So you pick these settings and then you automatically insert all the openings in your project. Okay, and then we have this option to join openings if they are close to each other. Then we have option if it's not crossing fully the wall or the floor, we don't want to insert, or if I will switch it off, it will insert opening anyway. So you have these rules, you save it, and then what you need to do, the workflow is like this. You need to find interference with Revit command. So I will choose walls and floors in this case, and then MEP linked project, pipes, ducts, and click on OK. And then we have this interference. Revit finds all the interference. We can export this interference check. I will save it. Yes, and then we can go and read this file and combine position of interference and configurations. So this is configurations and this is the file of intersections. Click on next. Then I will just simply save this information into separate file. Okay, close it down. And then I will go and insert these openings. Yes, so browse, select that file of read interference, and this time I'll click on next. And here in this window, now I can group information again as previously you saw in the window and door insert window. But here I will select all the intersections, and then I will use family, just an opening family. It could be solid family, or it could be with sleeves, like if you insert fire dampers. And then, yeah, for rectangular ones, this family. So it comes with the software. So I'm just gonna click on insert. So it found it 18 collision points, or yeah, like this, and then it's auto joining if they are close enough. Yeah, so they are created. All right, so where is it? Okay, over here. So I'll just close down this window, and what do you see now here is that we have opening, then we have these close enough. We have opening over here. I think we had some, yeah, so you see I have round opening, rectangular opening here, just in all the positions I have openings, yes. So it's automatically found it and applied all my rules. If I will go to the section view, maybe I'll just make a section over here. All right. So the family looks like this. It can have this cross, right? Then if I will I have already tag for this kind of elements, and yeah, maybe I'll just use leader, and then I'll click on this one. So you see I can provide different kind of information. So I just added elevation, and so this is from project point, I believe, in my configuration. Yes, it gives 21. So you can make a schedule of it, or you can add this in the tag. So because this is yes, so now it doesn't give me information, but it's just because I use different tag for rectangular one. So I just giving the height and width values also in the tag, so you can add this to anywhere. So I mean in schedules and so on, as long as it is parametric modeling. Then of course you can modify these elements later on if you want to through the parameters. Then if you have, let's say, this model, yeah, like this, and if I'm gonna maybe just, all right, so I'll just select this and use arrow keys. You see it's moving, and then I will save it, and then I will switch over to structural model, and then I will just go down and find this linked MEP model and just reload it. So now duct moved, and now I have like in a wrong position the opening. So I can just go to openings revision, and it will give me information what has changed, the size of duct or the size of wall, or it was removed and so on. So it gives me like it changed position. Yes, so I select that and click on agree with last changes. All right, close, and then you see this was updated. So now it's again in a good position. So it's the same with the windows and doors. Yeah, so you can use that, or your colleagues, MEP engineers, they can use that. All right, so I think we're done with this part. We can move on to the precast concrete connections. So what I have in this file. All right, so I have structural framing elements over here. This one is too big, so I'm just gonna change the size of it like this. I will go to level 3 and move it as well, because now it's in the wrong position. So I'll just move it like this, and then I will move it based on, I'll make the same gap between these elements. Yes, so I have it like this. All right, let's see. 3D view. So how to insert some connections automatically for the double T's, for example, right? I'll go to Precast Concrete again, and then we have a tool. We had Smart Details, but now it will be replaced with Smart Connections, so I will use that. So we have configurations, how to place your details. So in this window, you see we have configurations, how to place line-based details, how to place point-based details. You can drag them like this, change which one should be inserted first. Then you just pick the family which you would like to insert, and where do you want to insert it. Let me show you in this picture. Yeah, so you can insert by gravity point, by defined rules. You can search for elements, yes, or you can use simple rules like in this picture. Define how many of elements with offsets and how it should be inserted, or you can adjust and find different kind of intersections between elements. Let's say find beams and place some connection only in the position where we have beams. And with this you can achieve quite a lot of different results, right? It's not only precast, it could be used for the wood and so on, because we are distributing families on different elements based on the rules. So let's go ahead and see actually what can we expect from that. I will select all of these structural framing elements, And you see that this one is smaller and these are bigger, but anyway, I will use just one configuration for that. So because we can create smart details to adapt to the size of your elements, of your host elements. Yes, so I'm just gonna use this configuration. And what was done now, like this. So I have these details, yes, inserted. And then I have this, okay, I'm just gonna turn on visibility of generic models. So I have here void family also inserted. Yes, this is face-based family where I have just a simple extruded void created. And this void is cutting my double T slab at the ends. Then I have here at the bottom this kind of detail inserted. Maybe it's not so good visible. Oh, so now it's better. So you see as a support plates. So I inserted a couple of them here. Yes, and you will see that this one, because even if it's smaller, the detail changed size based on the size of my structural framing element. All right, so you can use that in really smart ways. Yeah, okay, let's go. Another thing, I have walls, so I'm just gonna insert some details to these walls. So again, I have this configuration, just insert details. It gives me some message that one of them was not inserted, but I know the reason for that, and that was actually what I was expecting. Because in one configuration I added quite many rules how and what should be inserted. Let's say these should be inserted at the bottom, right? Yeah, so if I'm gonna just select to modify this element, you will see how many details I selected to insert different, but in different situations. Let's say for this wall, it was not that all of them was inserted. Here I have this kind of cuts, which is automatically changing size to the double T size. Yes, and all right, so I'm just gonna probably do it like this. Select these walls. All right, how can I deselect this? All right, the walls like this, and yeah, insert elements, connections, or Revit families, however you call that. So again, I have the same kind of messages, and this was inserted like this. All right, so yeah, basically, actually, I have some rules also that not insert in this kind of position, but yeah, let's keep going. At the you see, I have used the same configuration for this wall and for this wall, but if we'll go to the plan view, you will see that this corner wall now it has some additional details inserted. Okay, maybe I'll do it like this. I will delete all of them because I see that I wanted to. Can I? My mouse doesn't work very good today. So all right, so I'm just gonna drag actually this wall a little bit, and I wanna have here some gap between these lines walls. So I want to show you one of type of connections. So that's why I want to overlap them like this. And then I will insert the details again, elements like this, because when I connect them in L shape, in like in the corner, so I can find that that this is corner of my walls. So let me show you, I have options here to find different wall connections and insert detail only if I have this kind of connection. Yes, so it will not be inserted in other situations. Like here I have end connection between walls, so I don't have these details. And here I have L connection, so I have these kind of cut. The cut is also reading information from this wall, so it automatically adjusts to the size. Yes, so like this, and also for the L, I have this kind of plate. And let's try to insert for these walls as well. Yeah, so now other details are not inserted because they are not needed based on configuration. And here you see that, all right, maybe I can actually insert for these as well. Insert details. All right. And you will see that now I have here slope, but my details anyway, they are following the slope. Actually, they are not following the slope. They are searching for this detail. So for this connection, yeah. So this one is only inserted if I have that detail. So if I will show in configurations, we are searching, we are placing this one if only if I have this one. Yeah, so that's kind of stuff you can do with smart details. And yeah, we can actually do some random stuff like this. Yes. And insert. So I'm just gonna show you another trick maybe, or just another configuration actually. Yes, so just close down this one. And I have some details at the bottom. Now I have this foundation wall. So I will just insert some details for it. I have this configuration. So it will insert only one detail, which will be inserted only in the position of this detail. So I'm again finding it. Um, Anytime you insert and you see like, oh my god, this one is not in a good place, I want to really have it over there. So it's not a problem because this is Revit families. You can do the same way. Yeah, so you can move it or even copy it. Yeah, so let's say like this and just copy it. Yeah, and then update elements of this wall. Yeah, so one was moved, another one was added. So you can follow the changes and so on. So that's really brief. I don't want to spend more time on inserting some cuts or anchoring for the hollow slabs or whatever for the T's for the columns and so on. But I made a couple of webinars before, so you can find about columns, walls, and floors separate webinars. Okay, and let's yeah, let's see what else. Renumber elements. Yes. So how would you renumber elements? Let's go to the roof. So now all of my slabs created, but they don't have any mark value. Yeah. So let's renumber them. Let's add these values. Actually, now I'm gonna select all of these floors. Okay. Yeah, and then I will go to annotate and tag all, and only selected floor tags. All right, no ladder, horizontal, and click on OK. So yeah, I have question mark, so it's because my mark value is empty. So how can I quickly get them? I will go to sort mark solution, and it has renumber element numbering commands. So we can do that for all elements, for selected elements, or for all elements of that category. Oh, sorry, I selected walls. Why did I do that? I want to select actually floors. All right, let's go to element numbering. And we choose to insert information to the mark parameter. We can add this to any text parameter, but this time to a mark parameter. And here you will see that I can save my configurations, how to group numbering, how to filter, what should have influence on the number. So if it's different, the number will be different. Any of these selected parameters. So it's type or instance parameters, quite a lot of to choose from. Yes, and then how to sort them, in which direction or based on which parameter you can do that. Yes, and then sort. So from which number should you start, what should be prefix, and so on. And you can save that as a configuration and use in all your projects. So all of them was renumbered. And let's take a look. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep. Let's go like this. Okay, I have here really strange slab, but anyway, I didn't spend much time to do that. So yeah, let's do it one more time. Select these floors. Okay, element numbering, mark. Okay, and then again I have configuration, so I don't need to do anything. Select configuration and click on OK. All right, so some of them will have same mark values because they meet all the requirements. They are the same. Yeah, so only a few of them are different. So only these two at the edge. All the others are the same. So we can do the same with the columns, with the structural framing elements, with the grids, right? You see here room numbering, space numbering, grid numbering, and so on. Another method is to use element mark one by one. So for example, if I'll pick this option and then I'll pick this wall, I can pick configuration which I want to use, and then click on OK. Yeah, I was numbering previously, so maybe it will be just a continue of numbering, but in general it's numbering based on my selections. So I can go around if I want to and really define the way it should be numbered. So all right, I think it's enough. I will just click on escape and then select maybe these walls, check none, walls, okay, annotate, tag all, wall tags without leader, okay, let's go there. All right, so I'm just gonna select all of these, move them a little bit like this, maybe just these I will remove, and then we will take a look. All right, so you see it was continuing because previously I was numbering actually before the webinar, so I didn't reset that, but in general, so it starts just from 18, and then we go like this: 23, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 31, 52, 53, 4, 5. Yes, so that's the way you can renumber elements in your projects. Couple of ways. You can not only renumber but copy value from one parameter to another parameter and so on. And if so, there is a question if these families and configurations will come to you. So if you just drop me an email later on, I will send you this file. Okay, so you can take at least couple of these examples and see how does it work. So all right, so the last step, create shop drawings. Yes, so let's go there. We have we have smart assemblies. It creates shop drawings. Shop drawings could be created by using configurations where you define what kind of views should be created, what visibility settings should be used, and what should be dimensioned. So dimensioning rules are defined here. You define how to dimension main element and openings, how you dimension details, connections, whatever you call them, or other Revit families, right? You have even extended version where you can dimension quite a lot of elements, right? And this dimensioning also it's called smart dimensions, and it could be also used not only in assemblies but in separate views in the plan, in the section. All right, so let's go rebars. Then what should be dimensioned, what should not be dimensioned? You select that, the text style, the dimension style, and where the nodes should be located. Yes, because you guys really have different ways to do it. So okay, detail views, so it doesn't really matter. Now schedules. So you pick the schedule template. So you just create one schedule and then apply that schedule to all your assemblies. You don't need to create 3 schedules for each of your wall. Yes. So and then sheet. So in the sheet you select the title block and sheet template. So let's go ahead and select one of these elements. It has already marked parameter, so we can start creating assembly. I'll just select it, click on create. I will pick the configuration which I want to use in this case and click on create. So it will take all the hosted details into assembly. It will insert gravity point if you wish to. Then it will calculate assembly mass. So you can add this to the sheet or to the schedule. Basically, you probably add this through the schedule on the sheet. Then, all right, so that's done. Let's go down. So it will, yeah, assemblies. This is my assembly. And what do I have is that I assigned to create 3D view, then front view. In the front view, you will see that I have a different kind of dimension. So I said that I want to dimension this family with red style, right? For some reason. Then I had added some small points in this family and I snapped to them. So it's really easy to control where do you want to snap it. Then we have this snapping out, yeah, to these details, and I have some notes about it. What is it? I select what kind of information do I want to see. Then I added these because yeah, some of you need that. So that's just an example, but it could be different ways. So you see I have dimensions, vertical dimensions, horizontal dimensions, to dimension these elements, right? On the other views, I selected just to put total dimensions. I don't want to see anything else, and so on. So now I will go to the sheet. I will drag this this view. All right, then I will select this one, left view, probably just put it a bit closer and align it to that one. 3D view, yes. Then details, so that's actually connections. And then wall schedule. So actually I can place here some legends if I want to, yes. And then add this to, so they could be copied in all the other sheets. So now let's take a look. I will go to shop drawing configuration, to the same configuration I have used. When I go to the sheets and I select that this sheet will be my sheet template. So what does it mean? Is that then I will select this one and click on create assemblies, and then the same configuration. Yes, so now it's creating assembly, and then it should put these views on the sheet as well. So let's take a look in the same order. Yeah, so we have the sheet, and you see it in now in this sheet I already have all the views on the sheet, and openings, so yeah, they have also dimensions generated, and yeah, opening for that and so on. All right, so that's the way you create assemblies. So I just want to show you another example. Just we'll use another configuration like this and create. So there could be a lot of different examples. In Sweden they do it in one way, in Australia in another way, in USA in another way. So now I have used another configuration, so my views are not on the sheet yet, but example could be like this. Yeah, so for example I have no notes here. I have different dimension style selected here, and I have all them on one chain, on one chain on one side, on one chain on the other side. Or I can put this kind of dimension and additionally linear dimension. Yes, so it's again up to you how this should be created. yeah, so it's basically the front view, most influenced by that configuration. And yeah, let's create another one, just a slab, double T. All right. I didn't renumber them, so I need to fill mark value. So for that, I'll just manually do it. Okay. And then create assemblies, and then configuration, and then create. So it's with a slope, my double T slab, but Smart Assemblies will make it horizontal in the drawing, so you don't need to fix that. Let's go here, and yeah, so the front view will look like this in my case. The left view, again, the only total dimensions, and in the top view I placed some different kind of dimensioning. So now I have some cutout dimensioning, and then I have these details with some equitation formula, or how is it called? Equality formula, yeah. Sorry about my English. And then these details, all right, some information about it, and this is it, yeah. So it's a horizontal element, and then all the nodes in this case is on the left. So again, different options. Some want on the left, some on the right, some want to have colors, and so on. So it's very flexible, and I'm pretty sure it could help you if you just work with Precast. Yes. So now you can get the free trial, as I said in the beginning, and then just drop an email to me, and I will send you a project with configurations. So this is our email. If you have any questions about the pricing or about the how does it work, or if you have some issues with it, so you can send emails to these. And thank you for your attention. Let's keep in touch and have a good day probably to you. So bye bye.
AGACAD, building BIM together.